Hey friends, if you're interested in hearing about the immigration changes or reforms in the America Competes Act, watch this video. Stick around all the way until the end to learn the details about what's in it for immigration and who it helps. I'm Latoya McBean Pompey, an immigration lawyer in New York, helping clients all over the world on complex family and business immigration or employment-based immigration. Reach out to us at McBean Law at 516-866-3900 or visit us at mcbeanlaw.com, where you could also book your appointment. Before you go today, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell so that you'll be the first to get notice of my videos each week. This new legislation passed on February 4th on the House side. A similar version had already passed on the Senate side. However, the Senate version does not include the immigration provisions that I'm going to share with you in this video. Now let's talk about what's in the America Competes Act for immigration. Firstly, I do have a disclaimer language here that says that this legislation includes language such as if otherwise eligible for non-immigrant visa or adjustment of status. And what this means is that although you may meet the requirements under this legislation for this non-immigrant visa or even to adjust your status, you must also meet all the other requirements that's in our laws in order to obtain that visa or to adjust your status. Okay, so you have to take into consideration any violations that may very well be on your record that will impact you from obtaining a lawful status through this legislation. Second thing to note is that this legislation is narrowly focused on high-skilled individuals, certain entrepreneurs, and certain Hong Kong residents. It does not broadly apply to millions of undocumented immigrants. No, this is only for those who meet these very specific skill sets and requirements. It did pass on February 4th. The Senate passed a similar version, and the chambers will need to reconcile the differences and vote on a final version. There are three main immigration provisions. The first is a new startup visa program. The second provides Green Card Cap Exemptions for doctoral STEM graduates, including physicians. And then the third big part of it includes a new Hong Kong refugee program, as well as TPS, temporary protected status designation to Hong Kong, and a special immigrant status visa that targets certain high-skilled individuals in Hong Kong. And I'm going to get into those details shortly. Let's talk about the new startup visa program. Under this legislation, it creates what's called the W visa for non-immigrant entrepreneurs, essential workers, or employees of the startup and their family. This new visa category, so there are three new visa categories, right? So there's W1, which is the visa category for entrepreneurs with ownership interest in the startup. It is a 3-year visa with up to 5 years extensions that's available. If the company continues to meet certain requirements, the individual can obtain an extension. What's really cool about this is that this actually leads to a green card. It leads to permanent residency status or LPR status as an immigrant entrepreneur. The second category is the W2 visa for the essential employees of the startup. These are individuals who are in a very high position, right? We're talking about executives or managers of the startup. It's a 3-year visa, and it also comes with a 3-year extension. It is very limited, though, based on the size of the startup, and I'm going to talk about those limitations shortly. Then there's the W3 visa for the spouse and children of the W1 and W2 visa holders. Let's talk about eligibility for the W1 visa. You must have ownership, at least 10% ownership interest in a startup entity that was formed within the last 5 years. You must have the knowledge, skills, or experience to substantially assist the startup with growth and success. And the startup entity during the 18 months before filing must have received at least $250,000 in qualified investment from one or more investors, qualified investors, or at least $100,000 in qualifying government awards or grants. And you might be saying, well, whoa, this sounds very similar to another program, the International Entrepreneur Parole Program, which I did a video about several months ago. It is very similar to that, but that under that parole program, which is still very new and very kind of difficult to figure out and apply for, that program comes with a shorter, parole period or lawful status period. It's structured slightly differently than this. Eligibility for the W-2s, right? Remember, W-2s are the essential employees of the startup. Employee must have an offer from the company to work in an executive capacity or a managerial capacity, and they must likewise possess the knowledge, skills, and experiences that are essential to growing the business and helping it become successful. Now, here are the numerical limitations. The number of visas that a company can apply for is based on the number of full-time employees here in the U.S. that the company has. So a company with 10 or fewer employees may apply for 2 visas. A company with 11 to 30 employees, full-time employees here in the US may apply for up to 3. Other things to consider: this is an application process to USCIS. If you're here in the US in a lawful status, at the time that this is passed, you could also apply to change your status. And then there's also a supplemental fee that goes along with this application process of $1,000, which is going to go into low income scholarship and the National Science Foundation. Let's talk about what's in it for doctoral STEM graduates. And really what we're talking about here is a Green Card Cap Exemption. They're exempt from the numerical limits that are currently on immigrant visas. Under this legislation, it creates a new category of individuals who are not subject to the green card quotas. Specifically, we're talking about the EB1 and the EB2 employment-based categories. The person or the individuals must have earned a doctoral degree in a program of study involving science, technology, engineering, or mathematics from a qualified U.S. research institution or from a foreign institution, if the degree is equivalent to a degree here in the United States. And they must also be seeking admission to engage in work here in the United States in that field, right? The field of their degree. Spouses and children are also included in this, which means that they're included in the CAP exemption. Now let's talk about the Hong Kong provisions in this legislation. Firstly, what it does is it creates a new designation called Priority Hong Kong Residents, or PHKR. To become a PHKR, one must not hold the right to citizenship in another country other than the People's Republic of China, Hong Kong, or Macau. They must also have resided in Hong Kong for at least 10 years before the enactment of this legislation. And this designation also includes their spouse and children. And this is slightly different from other immigration provisions where children are part of the mix. In this instance, it's children who are unmarried and under the age of 27. Ordinarily, it's under 21. Second thing that this provision does is it creates a TPS designation to Hong Kong, temporary protected status, an 18-month designation period. And to be eligible for TPS, the alien must have been a permanent resident of Hong Kong at the time that the person arrived in the United States, and they are a national of the PRC, the People's Republic of China, or in the case of an individual having no nationality, is a person who had last habitually resided in Hong Kong. They must have been continuously physically present in the United States since the date of the enactment of this bill. They must also be admissible as an immigrant and not otherwise ineligible for TPS, and they must register for TPS. Now, the next thing that it does is it makes Hong Kong a separate foreign state. which is important because it is those who are applying for the benefits under these provisions. It's important because they're not going to be subjected to the China per country limits. The next thing that this legislation does is it creates a refugee programs for PHKRs, right? Those are the priority Hong Kong residents. In order to get this refugee protection, an individual must prove that they had a significant role in a civil society organization supporting the 2019 and 2020 protests related to the Hong Kong national security law and encroachment of Hong Kong's autonomy by the PRC, or they were arrested, detained, or convicted of an offense arising from their participation in those protests, or their citizenship, nationality, or residency was revoked for having submitted to the U.S. a non-frivolous application for refugee status, asylum, or any other immigration benefit. And just as a note here, what is a significant role? The legislation defines it as, individuals who were organizers, journalists, first aid responders, providers of legal services, others who were arrested, detained, and convicted who participated in the protests. The last part of the Hong Kong provisions is the special immigration status for high-skilled workers. Up to 5,000 special immigrant visas may be granted annually under this legislation for up to 5 years. The individual must be a PHKR. They must have earned a bachelor's or a higher degree. Their relocation to the United States would provide a significant benefit to the U.S. The spouse and children may also benefit from this. You must be eligible to receive an immigrant visa, also otherwise be admissible to the United States for permanent residency, and you must pass a background check. And then lastly, STEM and healthcare workers will be prioritized under this legislation. That was a lot, I know, but for those of you who this will help if it all goes through, I hope you made it all the way till the end of this video. Work with a licensed immigration attorney to figure out whether you're eligible for any of these programs or benefits that I've discussed in this video. And guys, thank you so much for being with me. Comment below. Let me know what you thought about this video and the information that I shared with you today. Thanks very much, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.